Alright guys, so this is my video that I'm going to make about this filter system. This is what I use to make my deionized water. Instead of buying distilled water, this is what I do. And if you're using, if you're not using that much, at $1 a gallon, is what distilled water is around here, then yeah, it might not be worth it to you to invest in getting one of these, even though these are not that expensive. But if you're doing a lot of rinseless washes, or you're just mixing up a lot of chemicals, whatever, my previous video I showed those tanks. The one on the left is a 2.5 gallon tank, and I go through that, just mixing up my chemicals. I go through those fairly often when I'm busy. So that's why I've got me a filter system that is dedicated. I've got another one that's for my drinking water, or the drinking water, but this one is just to make deionized water, which is as pure as it gets. There's 0 total dissolved solids in the water that comes out of this. So and this one I got off a guy on Craigslist, but if anybody is interested in these things and wants to know where to get them and to buy them, because it's a rare occasion, or at least around here. I live in north of Nashville, Tennessee, but it's not that often that somebody posts one of these on Craigslist. And maybe you're the type of person you don't like dealing with that. So if you want to know where to buy one new, just ask me, leave a comment below or something, and I can tell y'all where to go for that, because I know probably the best place to get it. So let me explain it to you a little bit. So the way I've got this one set up is I've got an adapter on here where you just hook a regular garden hose up to, and so it'll come in right here. And so this is your pre-filter, and it's going to remove like this stuff here on the outside. That's on the outside, it's actually not inside. There's one little thing right in there I can see that's on the inside, and this pre-filter is close to a year old now. So it just completely depends on where you are. I see a lot of people, it'll start turning orange from rust color, rust that's in the water. So this takes out your big stuff. I believe this one is 5 micron. It's how they it's a measurement system of how fine it'll filter everything. So but these pre-filters are what you will change the most. They're very cheap. Then next it'll go over to this one is a solid carbon block filter. Its main job is to remove chlorine and chloramine. This one here, depending on where you live, chloramine is becoming more prevalent, and so you don't want chlorine or chloramine to make it up to your membrane, which, oh, by the way, this is a reverse osmosis deionization system. This is the RO membrane, the reverse osmosis membrane. This is what does the heavy lifting as far as taking out all the dissolved solids that are in the water. So, like I said, this is pre-filter. Then it goes through here that is going to remove the chlorine or chloramines. It also filters it down even finer. I think this is 1 micron that I got here. Then, like I said, it would go up to your membrane. That's going to do the heavy lifting. Then the last part is it will come, sorry for the dog barking. So the last part is it comes here to the deionization resin. Now this looks all funky because this is all used up. I just haven't, I'll change it here soon, and it's more of like a dark blue, and then the stuff that I have is like a dark blue when it's new, then it'll turn to this color when it's all used up. But there's different kinds where you can get it and it doesn't change color. I just like the color changing kind, you know, for obvious reasons, because it tells you when it's ready to be changed. But yeah, after it goes through the RO membrane, anything that's left over, any dissolved solids that are left over, this resin will strip that out. Now, the membrane that came with this one was a 50 gallon per day membrane, which means in a 24-hour period, it'll make up to 50 gallons of water. I swapped it out with a 75 gallon per day. Not that I ever make 75 gallons per day. It's just that that translates into it being faster production. And they make them up to like 150 gallon per day, and then you can even stack 2 of them. But I doubt very seriously. Hold on, let me pause this 1 second. All right, so yeah, this one's 75 gallon per day. You can choose. Now, the reason I didn't go above that up to 100 gallon per day, I just didn't need it. But generally, the 75 gallon per day that's as high as you want to go if you want your membranes, because like this one I think will remove 99, from like 97 to 99. I had mine removing 99%. There's factors like water temperature and pressure. I added this pressure gauge on, you know, that play into that as far as the efficiency of your membrane. But you know, if you go 75 gallon per day, or 50 gallon per day, either one, you should be good. Reason being is you want that to do the heavy lifting, because this DI resin, I mean, it's not, you get the color changing kind, it's, you know, it's a little more expensive. As far, you know, if you're doing this for detailing, you shouldn't go through a whole lot of it. But like I said, I wanted one that this removes so much of the dissolved solids that this resin barely has to do any work. So my resin actually will last me a long time, and that's not even filled all the way up to the top. But like I said, that's all used up. So it's just something, you know, I haven't seen anybody else mention. You know, I've seen a lot of people mention that they use distilled water. You know, I actually found out about these RODI systems through doing something else. So it's just something that I carried over into detailing that was useful to me, and it definitely, like I said, if you use a lot of distilled water, this will save you quite a bit of money in the long run for sure, because, you know, depending on your water quality, you know, these things can last you a good while. The membrane can last years. You know, basically, you know, you're going to change the pre-filter. You know, it all depends on your water quality, but that'll get changed. The most, then that, you know, I probably maybe once every year, and then it's almost the same with me for the DI resin. So they're really not that expensive to keep up. And if you wanted to, I mean, you can drink this as well, because it is completely pure water. It's really good if you're trying to do a flush. But anyways, I guess that's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Be happy to answer them. I will say right now, I don't have access. For some reason, I can't. Well, I guess I could see the comments through my phone, but it's like a big process, whereas if I get on the laptop, it's much easier to do. So if I don't get back with y'all, you know, right away, you know, that's why. But I'll definitely get back to y'all. So other than that, guys, y'all be good.